Yes, check here like we'll go to next another important module, working with security features. Okay, so as part of security features, remember we have to work with what different security options. Like yeah, providing security for our SQL servers, like creating users, creating logins, granting permissions, taking back permissions. Okay, all those activities are done by us here as part of security module. Okay, right, right. Check here like yeah, as part of security, what are the main concepts are there? We'll see. Check here. Generally, whenever we are working with the security features, these are the main modules. Are there? We have to work with server level security and DB level security. Here, two levels of security options. Server level and DB level security options. Okay. Check here like as part of server level security. So we have to work with we have to work with here. We have to configure the network security. Network security we have to configure. Previously we have seen we can configure the firewall, right? So uh, we have to configure the firewall. We have to configure the yeah uh, port number we have seen. We can configure the port number. We can assign the port number in module 2 we have seen. We can assign the port number. We can add that port number into what? Windows firewall. Okay, so that yeah, it should allow access. Then here we have to work with logins. Basically, we have two types of logins are there here, Windows logins and SQL logins. We'll discuss here in detail. Till now, till now, we have connected to SQL Server by using what? Windows logins, right? Till now. Till now, we have connected to SQL Server using Windows logins. Okay, right, right. Uh, but here we'll see SQL logins and other these two both we'll see. Generally, we have till now just we have opened this Windows Authentication Connect, but we have SQL Server Authentication is also there. We'll discuss this as part of this security module. Windows authentication means what? With what name we are entering into machine. Means what into Windows. With what name we are entering into Windows. With same name we are entering into SQL Server. Right? With the Windows authentication. Okay, but we can go with mixed mode authentication or SQL logins are also there. We'll discuss that second type of logins are there in this module. Then we have to work with the roles. Roles are there. Role is nothing but what generally we know, right? Normally we have roles are there like manager, right? So yeah, team lead role, team member role, like different roles are there. Here also same roles are there. Basically, remember to group the privileges, to group the permissions, we have roles. Okay. For example, sales team. In sales team, 100 employees are there. My client is asking that grant the permissions to 100 employees on these tables, for example. So instead of granting to 100 employees separately, what we can do? We can create a role. Okay, we can create a role. Just grant the permissions to the role. See here, I'm not granting permissions to individual employee. I'm granting permissions to the role. After granting permissions to the role, we can add members into the role. Okay, I'm creating one role like team lead. team leads, for example. So after creating a role, I will grant the permission, then I will add some members like Murthy, Varaprasad, Mukesh, okay, Hussein, for example, into team leads role. Now, whatever the permissions are there for team lead role, these employees will work with those permissions here. Means what, tomorrow if want to grant extra permissions, if want to take back permissions, we have to take back from the role, right? Yes, no need to grant permission to Hussein, Mukesh separately. Directly I will grant extra permission to the role. They will get all the permissions. Okay, directly I will take back permissions from the role. Like this here, we'll work with the roles directly. We'll see here, by default, we have roles are there. We have default role is there, sysadmin. See here, by default in SQL Server, one top level role is there, sysadmin. Okay, members of this role, just remember, members of this role can perform any task in SQL Server. Okay, so that's what, but this sysadmin is a server level, top level role. Server level, top level roles here. Sysadmin is what? Server level, top level role in SQL Server, and this role is only for our team only. Okay, this role is only for our team only. Our team means our DBA team only. This role is not for end users or developers. This role is only for our team members. Okay, sysadmin. Right. We can create our own roles also from SQL Server 2012 onwards. We'll discuss those roles. How we can create, we'll see. From SQL Server 2012 onwards, we can create our own roles. Basically, we have seen there is no confusion. Just remember, role is a collection of permissions, collection of privileges. Just okay. Right. Check here, like some other options are there as part of server level security. Auditing is there. Auditing is basically capturing the information. Auditing is nothing but what? Capturing the information. Means what, like which user has worked with which command, which user has worked with which command, means who has worked with delete command, who has worked with truncate command. Some of the activities we can capture here. Some of the activities we can capture with the help of what? This auditing. Auditing name itself is saying auditing is nothing but what? Capturing the information. Clear, right? Yes. That's like auditing is it. Then we have endpoints are there here. Endpoints are nothing but remember for server to server, for server to server communication. We have endpoints are there here. For server to server communication, we have endpoints. Basically, remember these endpoints are nothing but TCP port numbers. TCP port numbers. For example, these endpoints are used here in database mirroring and always on. For database mirroring and always on, we have these endpoints. Okay, right. So that is like various features are there as part of server level security. We'll see all these in detail one by one. Then as part of DB level securities here, we have users are there. That's why remember, don't confuse here. As part of server level security, we have logins. As part of server level security, we have logins. As part of DB level security, we have users. Okay. Yes. The symbol both users are there as well as we have logins are there. That's why don't confuse again. Login is server level entity here. User is DB level entity. For example, like one company is there. In the company, we have 5 departments are there. Okay. To enter into the company, we have to use login, right? To enter into DB, we have used to enter into the uh, department, we have user like this, just for basic understanding. That's why remember, login is server level entity. To enter into instance, we have login is it. To connect to DB, we have users are there here. To connect to database, we have users are there. That's like both logins are there, users are there here as part of security. Then say like as part of DB level security, users are there. We'll work with the permissions, different levels of permissions again, DB level, schema level, object level. The same way, we'll work with the roles here also. Here roles are there. Okay, so here see database level, top level role is there, DB owner. Check here, server level, top level role is what? Sysadmin. Means what? Once you add someone to sysadmin role, he can go to all databases. He can work with all databases. Okay. Yeah. Whereas DB owner can work only with a particular database with all permissions. Okay. Once we create a user, once you add that user into DB owner role, he can work with total database objects. Total database objects. Okay. Okay. Next year, like here also auditing is there. We can capture the user activities. Certificates are there here, basically to implement like encryption and decryption. We have here certificates are there for encryption and decryption, like password is there, credit card numbers are there, right? All those should be stored in a encrypted manner. For that purpose, we have these certificates are there here. Certificates. Clear, right? Yes, yes. These are still like different security features are there. We have to understand. Okay, different levels of security features. Okay, okay. We'll see one by one. We'll see. But observe here. If want to allow someone to work with a database here, already we know in a SQL Server instance, we have one or more DBs, right? Like sales database, HR database. In a instance, we have one or more DBs. Okay. Again, here like now in a database, we know already we have schemas are there. Under that, tables are there, objects are there, schemas are there, just like a folder we have seen. To group the tables, we have schemas. Okay, let's say I want to allow Ravi to work with these database tables, HR database tables, for example. What are the steps are there here? First step, we have to create a login. First step, we are creating a login. Once again, remember, logins are stored in master database. In master database, what table is there? Syslogins. Syslogins table is there. In this table, logins information is maintained. Syslogins tables here. Okay. Then say like again, by default, sir, every login is a member of public role. Every login is a member of what? Public role. That's what default role for every login is public. And see, this public role has two permissions. This public role has how many permissions? Two permissions. One is a connect to the instance. Connect to the instance and view any database. Means what? Whenever you create some login, what he can do? He can connect to the server. He can see all databases. He can't enter into database, right? Yes, he can connect to the instance server. He can see all databases in this server, what databases are there, but he can't enter into DB. That is the reason to allow him to enter into a database, to allow some user to access a database. Second steps here, we have to go to the database. In the database, we are creating a user. We are creating a user mapping to that login. See here, first step creating login, which is created at instance level. Second step, I want to allow him to work with a particular DB. Particular DB. Now remember, in that database, we have to create a user mapping to that login. Okay, right. Now check here. Here also default role is their public role, and public role has only one permission here. Connect to the instance permissions here. Sorry, connect to DB permission. Here public role has two permissions, connect to instance and view all databases. But this public role, which is there at DB level, it has only one permission, connect to DB. Means what? Once we create a user mapping to the login, now this login can connect to this database. But remember, he can't work with the tables. That's why third step is that granting permissions. Means let's say on which table what permissions we want, we can grant, like select permission, update permission, any permission, granting permission. That's like we have to understand here. It is a two-step process, three-step process. Three-step process. If you want to allow someone to work with a database table in SQL Server, by default, it is a three-step process. First step, creating login. Second step, creating user. Third step, granting permissions. Check here. I want to allow Ravi to work with these two databases, HR database tables plus sales database tables, for example. In that case, remember, after creating a login, I will create a user here, grant the permissions. Again, create a user in sales database, grant the permissions. Check it. It's what one login is required, two users are required. Okay, the data in the same server, we have 5 databases are there. I want to allow him to work with 5 databases. In that scenario, first step will create one login. In each EV will create a user mapping to that login. See, clear, right? One login is required in each database. User permissions, user permissions, user permissions. Okay, okay. We'll see this first. We'll see this demo, 3-step process demo. We'll see. Then we'll go with the one by one concept again. Right. Let me connect to any one instance. Okay. Okay. Here's your sample database is the AdventureWorks database. Okay. Let's say what I want. I want to allow yeah, someone to work with this database tables. To work with this database tables here. I want to allow someone to work with this database tables. Already we have seen it is a 3-step process. Okay, we have other options are also there. We'll talk about that. But we are discussing first option. As part of first option, it is a 3-step process to allow someone to work with a database table. Okay, check here step 1. Step 1 is creating login. Already we have seen diagrammatically. Step 1 is creating login. Check here, create login name with password, some passwords. Check it. Create login name with password, some password. Okay, check your login is created successfully. Graphically also we can create here. See, new login. I will show you graphically also second process here. Okay, login is ready. Now what Mukesh can do, he can connect to this instance and he can see all databases. He can't enter into database. Check here, Mukesh is connecting. For example, he will open SSMS in his laptop. Okay, here see, by using this SQL Server authentication, he is connecting here. Connected successfully. Check here, Mukesh has connected successfully into same server test SQL 99 where we have created the login for him. Okay, he can see the, but you see there is no agent service. That's why because he is not admin member. By default for admin members, we can see automatically agent service. Okay. Now, sir, Mukesh has connected successfully. He can go to databases. He can see all databases. But whenever he's trying to enter into this database, see here, immediately error, the database adventure works is not accessible, not accessible, not accessible. Already we have seen he can't enter into any database. He can't work with the database tables. Okay, what is the second step now? We have to create a user in required database mapping to the login. Okay, check here what I will do. Now I will go back. Here I am working as admin. Don't confuse. Here I am working as admin. I can do anything here. Here by opening one more SSMS window, I am testing here. Okay. Okay. Check here. Second step. In general, remember before second step, already we have seen these logins are stored in which database? Master database. In sys logins table, check here. Here all the logins are stored. And so many logins are there here. We can see login name. Okay, some other details are there. Okay, but you see password null. Why? Because even as a DBA, I can't see the user's passwords, other logins passwords. Okay. In the same way, we can check login details by using one stored procedure also here. SP help logins login name. Login name. Still there is no user. No, there is no user for him to connect to database. But the important point is there. Every login and user, every login and user, uh, they have one common ID called SID. SID, security identifier. See, which is automatically assigned. Just now we have seen. Okay, good. Login is ready. Next second step will go to creating users. Now we can create the users. Okay, how we are creating user now? Check here. Let's say I want to allow Mukesh to work with this database tables. For example, okay, first I will enter into the database. Go. First here, right now I am in master database, right? First we'll navigate into the database. Okay, right now I am in AdventureWorks database. Okay, now I will say create username for login. See, I'm creating user for this login with same name. Again, remember username and login name both may be same, may not be same. Why? Because internally their SIDs are same by default. But as a best practice, remember, it is better to create a same name, login and user with same names for easy understanding. Okay. Okay, user is created successfully. Now observe here, Mukesh can enter into this database now. Once he refresh now, he can enter here no error. Previously it was throwing error access denied. Check here. Now he can enter into DB, but he can't work with the tables here. That's why now as a DBA, we have to grant permissions. Step 3. Okay. Yes. What I will do, I want to allow Mukesh to work with 3 tables. For example, only on the tables I will grant the permissions. Let's see step by step. I am showing very clearly. Don't get any confusion. Okay. Third step, see, granting permissions. We have to go to this database. Already we are in the same database. Grant, select, comma, insert on. See, okay. Check it. I am granting 2 permissions here. Select and insert. I am granting to whom? To Mukesh on this table. Actually, remember here, address is the table name, person is the schema name. Address is the table name, person is the schema name. Just remember, don't get any confusion. Schema is like a folder. Just to group the similar tables, we have schemas. You don't get any confusion. Schema is just like a folder, right? Similar files we can group, right, in Windows. Same thing here, we have schemas are there to group the similar tables for easy permissions granting, for easy understanding. Why? Because one college database is there. In college database, 5,000 tables are there. Which table is for what purpose? Confusion is there, right? That's what we can do. We can create the schema, one schema with the name hostel. In that hostel related tables. One schema with the name library. In that library related tables. Okay, right, right. So that is like we can grant here, like what I am saying indirectly. We can group the tables actually with the schema names. With the schema names here, we can group the tables here with the schema names. Right, right. Okay, okay. So that's why now here I am running this command. I'm running this command. Now what I will do, Mukesh can work with what? On this table with how many commands? 2 commands. Select and insert command. Check here. Once he refresh now, tables refresh. See, he can see the tables here. Just now we have granted permission. He can see the table. He can work with this table. He can work only with these 2 commands here. So, okay. So he can work with insert also, but if he's trying to work with delete command, errors here, delete permission was denied. Okay. Yes. Very clear error message is there. Like this, like Mukesh can work with the respective permissions only. This is your table level permission, or we can say object level permissions here. object level permission. Particular table level we have to understand, or object level. Right, right. Next one say like next year, third, yeah, this is a table level permission I have granted. On which table? Person dot address table I have granted one permission to Mukesh. In general, remember while granting permission, we can use one extra clause like this with grant option. See here, with grant option means what? As a manager, I am granting permission to Mukesh. Let's say Mukesh is team lead, for example. In his team, 5 employees are there, for example. Now, as a manager, I'm granting these two permissions to Mukesh. And I am asking Mukesh, you grant the same permissions to your team members. I don't want to grant, you grant. Means what? I'm granting permission to Mukesh as well as I'm giving grant option also. Correct, right? Not compulsory, optional clause. If you want to allow him to grant to his team members, you can use this clause. Once Mukesh connect, he can also grant the permissions to, let's say Prasad is there, Murthy is there, Ali is there, Hussein is there. So he can grant the permissions to his team members. Okay? Yes, yes. The same way, like we can grant select on schema, some schema name to Mukesh. This is called schema level permission. Schema level permission. What its meaning? Remember already we know schema is a group of tables. Schema is what? Group of tables. That's why remember, like if want to grant permission directly on group of tables. See, no need, let's say 100 tables are there. Instead of granting permission on one by one table, instead of granting permission on one by one table, directly we can grant permission on sales schema. Check here the tables how the sales dot some tables are there sir in this schema. Once I grant permission on sales schema, now Mukesh can work with all these tables with which command? Select command. Check here, run this command. That's why your schema level means just like folder level permission, for example. Okay, run this command. Yeah, executed successfully. Now check here. I'm testing with Mukesh. Here I have connected already with Mukesh. Don't get any confusion. Just here I am granting, here I am testing. See, Mukesh has connected here. Once he refresh now, he can see all tables of sales schema. Check here. Sales dot. And he can work with all tables of sales schema with which command? Select command. For example, let's say in this sales schema we have some tables are there. He can see all the tables, but what I want, my client is asking, or as a manager, I don't want to allow Mukesh to work on a particular table. For example, credit card, any table. Except this table, he should work with all tables. At that time, what I am doing here, I will deny the permission. Check here, deny select on sales dot credit card to cash. See here, means what? By default, first I have granted total table permissions. Okay, then I am taking back one table permissions here by saying what? Deny. Okay, once I run this command, now remember Mukesh cannot work with this table. Previously he was able to see this table. Once he refresh now, see there is no table credit card. See here, why? Because I have denied the permission, I have taken back the permission. Okay, that is see. And last one's here. Suppose here we have granted two permissions, right? Select and insert. After 1 day, 2 days, I want to take back insert permission. I want to allow case to continue with select permission to take back permissions. We have one command, one command is the revoke commands here. Revoke insert on person dot address from Mukesh here. Okay, only insert I am taking back, still he can continue with select command. Like this here, grant is what? To grant the permission. Revoke is to take back the permission. Deny is to restrict the permission. Okay, last one here. Grant backup database to Mukesh. This is called DB level permission. DB level permissions here. Backup means he can take backup of database. Which database? AdventureWorks database. For example, the same way I am saying grant select to Mukesh. Check here very clearly. There is no on clause here. Select on table name. Select on schema name. That's why if you see grant select to Mukesh, basically remember it is DB level permission. Means what? In this database, how many tables are there? He can work with all tables. Why? Because on clause we are not mentioning. See here, on this table or on this schema, I am not saying directly. I'm saying grant select to Mukesh. Correct, right? He can work with select command on any table. Any table. Okay. Yes. Yes. This is a three-step process which is important for us. First steps here we have seen how to create a login. Second step, how to create a user. Third step, granting the permissions. Three-step process. Last point we'll see fourth step, then we'll see some questions. Okay. Yes. Yes. Last point here, to check permissions. See to which user what permissions we have granted. I want to see in future. Tomorrow I want to see, let's say, what permissions are granted to Mukesh. I want to see, for example. Okay, right. We can check the permissions here. Already it is there in our material as well as have written in my blog also. FAQs and scripts azure-sql.blogspot.com. SQL Server logins, users, permissions. Same steps I have discussed here. Step 4 here. Step 4 is what? To check the permissions. Here one stored procedure is there here. See, to check the permissions. SP help protects here. By using SP help protect, we can see to which user what permissions are granted on which table. Sir, Ramesh has insert and select permissions on this table. Shashi has some permissions on this table like this here. So very lengthy list will be there in real time. That's why again we can filter. I want to see permissions only on this table only, not total tables, on this table only. Okay, check here. On this table, person dot address table, we have granted permissions to Mukesh, Ramesh, Sashi, here. These are column level permissions here for Sashi. Only he can work with these 5 columns. Again, remember table level, user level. See here, I want to see only this user's permissions on this table. Check here. Okay, Mukesh has only one permission. Select permission on this table. Again, total user level permissions I want to see. Mukesh, table name null I am saying here means all tables. All tables, null means to which user? Mukesh. Person data address and credit card we have denied the which permission? Select permission. Or we can use this script also to see permissions of a particular user. See database level default permission we know, connect permission. Object level permissions are there. Object ID is a table ID. Schema level, schema ID 9 is there. We have granted no on which schema. Sales schema we have granted. By using schema ID here, we can check what is the schema name and which schema he has permission. Sales schema. This is like 4 steps we have seen here, main steps as part of security. Okay, right. One second. Yes.